Hello, everybody. Gray Life here to take the gray out of your day. And today we're going to be examining the subspecies of humans known as Karens. They inconvenience you, they inconvenience me. So let's laugh at them. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the video. So this entitled mom doesn't think I own my car. So this happened a few weeks ago. I went to the grocery store to pick up a few things. After I got into my car, I decided to smoke a cigarette before I started driving, because where I live, distracted driving laws are very enforced. This entitled mom knocks on my window and says, "Hey, there are kids around. Don't smoke near my daughter." Our bylaws state that you need to be 10 meters away from a public space, and I was much farther than that. I said, "Excuse me? I'm in my own vehicle, much farther away from the public entrance." She goes on to say, "No, there is no way this is your car." It's not a great vehicle, but it's newish, and I'm still making payments for it, and blocks me from backing out. Also, I have an ashtray in my car so I don't pollute and throw butts out of my car, so I believe I'm doing nothing wrong. She asks me to see my license and registration and proof of ownership, at which point I say, "Ma'am, are you a police officer? Because if not, I do not need to show you it." So she huffed off behind my car because, I'm not gonna run humans over because I needed eggs and flour, and shouldered her small daughter in behind her so I could not back out of my parking stall. 10 minutes later, the police arrived, I explained everything, and she was slapped with abusing the emergency line. I just feel bad for that poor kid who probably just wanted a popsicle on a hot day. Her child was helplessly lost. I wasn't super sure where to put this one, as it has elements that could belong in a few different subs, but in the end, I chose dear old entitled parents. If it doesn't belong here, please, let me know. I'm at work, just near the beginning of my shift, and coming out of the back room when I'm confronted by the sight of this woman. She was kind of lurking, standing in just waiting outside the employee-only door. She had the definite air of just bursting to chew someone out, with wide eyes and this tiny, insidious little smile. Now, I'm no manager, but that didn't matter to this one. I was just the first person to emerge from that door, and therefore, I would be her next victim. "Hi, how are you?" I said. I knew she was just awful. Sure enough, I opened the floodgates. This woman, who had seemed perfectly composed, was now cry-speaking at me in broadest Karen about how she lost her child in the store. This took me off guard, and I was genuinely concerned because I, of course, envisioned a toddler, and that's a serious problem. There are procedures in place for lost children, and I was prepared to make a call over my walkie to initiate a search. I was about to press her for details when she just kept talking over me beside herself. "Oh, I spoke to someone already, and they said they would call over the store intercom." Odd. Not the correct process for a small child that is lost. I asked her who she'd spoken to. Maybe it was a newbie who didn't know. She continued, still absolutely wrecked with emotions, by the way. "Oh, they called and found her, but it doesn't matter now." My face reads as several question marks, but she didn't need my involvement to go on wailing. "Just because my daughter's 16 years old, nobody seemed to care. Nobody was concerned. They wouldn't even look for her. All they would do is just call her over the intercom. I mean, it is just ridiculous." My mouth opened, but all I could manage initially was, "Oh." Because having the massive bomb of her daughter being 16 years old dropped on me when I had been expecting a 3-year-old was too much to handle. To make it worse, her daughter just appeared. A competent-looking young woman, taller than me, who by the looks of things wanted to melt into the floor and never be seen with her mother in public again. Her mother continued to babble about me being shocked and appalled, and then abruptly stormed out of the building with her poor child in tow, giving me no time to respond at all. She literally just wanted to yell at me for a minute. I learned later from another employee that she had done similar to about 4 different people, and later, from one of our customer service reps that she had called the store to complain yet again. Her major beef with us, and the entitled part, despite the intercom thing having successfully provided her with her kid, we hadn't announced a literal missing child alert and brought everything to a screeching halt to locate her daughter. Because your 16-year-old with their cell phone wandering off to look at clothes does not constitute such an emergency. I hope her daughter is okay. It wouldn't surprise me if she is trying not to be found. That's not your spot. Hi. So I had an encounter with an entitled mother in a parking lot on the weekend. I went out on the weekend because it's the long weekend in Australia, and this was the first time in 2 months I got a 2-day weekend since I work 6 days a week. I left the shops and got into my car. Now mind you, it was busy. Long weekend crowd, COVID doesn't exist here mostly. However, there were still plenty of parking spaces, say 10 just near me. So I get into the car, start it, and try to connect my phone to Bluetooth. In pulls entitled mom in her minivan, with her children in the back seat. She indicates waiting for me to go. Now mind you, I don't see her. However, remember there were plenty of other spots. So I'm fiddling with my phone trying to connect the Bluetooth. It wasn't working. Typical. It was maybe a minute or two before I got it working, and suddenly I heard a car power off. But I pay it no mind since it's a car park and people are stupid all the time. As I'm picking something to listen to, I like listening to r/ while I drive. He's the best and his voice is soothing while I drive. And suddenly I hear a bang on my window. I jumped as I wasn't expecting it, and turn and roll down my window. Old car. Not all the way to talk to the entitled mom.
Are you going to move?
Excuse me?
Your car. It's running, meaning you have to leave. And this is my spot. You need to move.
Just for some context, this wasn't a disabled spot or close to the door. It was a fair bit away from the entrance actually. There's nothing special about it. No? Look, there are plenty of spots. Hell, you're parked in one right now. What's wrong with that one?
It's not my spot. This is my spot.
I was tired at this point and did want to leave, but didn't want to let her win, so I snapped back. Well, since your attitude is so poor, I'm definitely not leaving this spot now. And since when is this your spot? There's no name on it. She tries to cut me off, but I put my hand up and talk over. Oh no. Don't talk over me. Now you're already parked. Go and do your shopping and stop bugging people for no reason. And with that, I rolled up my window and turned away from her. She continued to bang on my window for another minute until she gave up and went to her car. She waited about 5 minutes, then left and walked into the shopping center. I saw her 2 kids walk with her, kind of embarrassed, and her teenage daughter mouthed to me sorry as she walked past. I waited another minute and then I left. Just, whoa. Over a parking spot, when there are plenty of spots around. If it was the only one, I would have been fine and hurried to move, but this Karen just had to have my spot. And that's gonna do it, everybody. Hope I made your day a little less gray. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good one. Bye.